Tell us a little bit about ESOL programming, the goals of ESOL programming here.
Sure. They arrived from the Dominican Republic, she and her husband, and they enrolled in our night program. And now she became a family daycare provider. She lives in Somerville, so she opened her own center, and her husband is her assistant. She's actually in the program this summer because she has her own little business, and she and her husband were one of the first ones to sign up when they heard that we were going to have this skill building class. They just got here less than a year ago, but they're thriving, and they're trying to make things, their lives better. We have students representing almost over 40 countries in scale. Very lucky that we have staff that are bilingual, some of them are multilingual, but really being able to meet the needs of people who come in who maybe we don't speak the language and kind of help navigate even applying for classes here. Currently we have over 500 people on our wait list. I added to the inquiry form like how recently did you arrive to the United States, and I'm seeing a lot of people who just got here and coming in to ask for ESOL classes, and I think that tells you how important it is for immigrants, right, who come in already with that mindset that I need to learn English to be able to access jobs, to get into school, to help my kids, young people coming here learning the language and then being able to find a path that they can get a good job.
There's one student in specific that he approached me and he told me that this program will help him to ask for a better position within the restaurant that he works. He said that he came from Mexico a few years ago, like about 2 years, and he's been working there. And back in Mexico, he had a bachelor's degree in administration, business and administration, but he's working in the kitchen. So he said that with the language, he'll be able to communicate with his boss and talk about his talents and what he can bring to the table. I believe that learning and education is such a powerful tool in any city and community and agency. People in the community are really looking for those opportunities to open other doors, and I think Mass Hire and Scale and Somerville working together in the business will really do that, empower the city at the end.
Some of them have full-time jobs and some of them don't have jobs at all. I have 2 people in my class who basically worked in banks in their own countries. Now one of them's a painter and the other one's working in a restaurant. So they don't have the language skills to have a banking job in this country, which is what they're trained for. And so, eventually, hopefully they will be able to get back to their careers.
Yeah.
A lot of people's immediate need is just getting a job, just getting their foot in the door. I've seen a lot of students in with not a lot of confidence in English and really kind of blossoming as they build their confidence in the language. I think they build their confidence as a leader in some cases, and people kind of take on more responsibility and will take on kind of student leadership positions in Scale. People in their home countries certainly had responsibilities and leadership positions, so I think kind of for them regaining that through a new language is that's kind of the process, and that's kind of the dream.
I feel more confident when I talk in English. Even I have some mistakes maybe because my English is good, but maybe the native speakers they say they can right now at this point they understand what I'm talking. So I feel confident. Even I know sometimes I do a few mistakes, but I can talk and communicate. That is that I feel confident more than I was.
Education at large is something that we predominantly experience when we're younger. So for adults, that puts them in this vulnerable position. So I think that's one barrier that people don't typically think about, is it's kind of awkward and it can be embarrassing. So first and foremost, we're trying to kind of set up those conditions, which I think our volunteer teachers do a fantastic job of making students feel comfortable, making them feel like they can make mistakes, because that's the only way to learn. The second thing, when they're out in the community, which is something that even English speakers face, is it's really hard to access certain pieces of information depending on who you are. So imagine if, you know, you're already having trouble finding housing and you're an English speaker, what that would mean for you if you weren't really sure what different terms meant, like low income or Section 8 or anything like that. So I think language is identity, but it is also information and knowledge. And so when you don't have the certain language that is spoken in your city, it becomes really difficult to kind of operate with confidence and access resources that might be critical to you and your family's success. And it was really interesting and honestly uplifting to speak with some managers in the area who said to us, you know, if you're building out a curriculum for small business employees, include things like customer service, but equally include like calling your landlord and figuring out your electrical bill, because plenty of students just want confidence in their everyday as opposed to employment. And then of course, once you're fluent in English, that really opens up doors financially to other jobs. And those managers we were speaking to wanted that for their employees, which was really wonderful to see as well.
I grew up in Mexico, and I started to cook when I was like maybe around 12 years old, and my mother teach me, and then I came into this country when I was 25, and I started to work as a dishwasher. We had to start from the bottom, and right now, like I go to Mexico like a couple times a year and get some of the recipes from different states. I bring here. So I know a lot of business around here. They have a lot of like Spanish employees, and so the community right now around here they get a little more like speak English. Most of the people around here. They go to the business, but they speak English, so that the communication they have to be like much better. And if they continue to do those programs, they're gonna help the business, so they can, get a good service for the community. So I recommend to continue. 4 guys they went to the English class, and 3 of them they working on the as a waiter, and I can see like how they improve a little, much better, because we used to have a problem with the communication, and sometimes we're making mistakes because for the communication. So now they are much better. They understand more, and hopefully, they went like three different or 2 different classes, and they get it better. So they continue for the English class, because that is really important for the business.